there are quite few things that changed me after living in the woods. Since I bought this house around the end of the April, and then there was still a paperwork for 2 weeks, and started to really living here from the last week of May. So it's been about 2 months. And I'm also not living here straight. It's like going and backing from the cities, and I think soon after I lived here, I noticed the difference quickly. When I go back to the city, I start to hear things that I didn't used to hear. For example, like machines, like air conditioning machines that vibrating all the way, like zzz. That kind of sound I used to ignore. I used to not to notice it. You know, in a city you feel like everything is quiet, but actually no, there's so many sounds, like traffics, continuous traffics even throughout the night. Also, if you have a shop nearby, they will give a huge machine sound of air conditions and the thing they're making in the shops. There's so many kinds of low sound and machine sound, yeah. Lots of machine sound that you used to be numb, but then I start to hear it. I also start to hear the bird sound in the city. And because over here the bird is really talking, I feel like they don't make sound because they want to, they're meant to. They always have some message, I think. So I start to hear them. I start to like listen to them, like what is that they want to say. And I think the changes that I have after living here is because of the expansion of myself, I think. So in the city I am living in an apartment room, and then I would also have a neighbor next to my room. There's somebody upstairs. There is somebody. You know, it's like a 6th-floor building. Opposite, outside of my window, there's another house. Somebody's living. So when you're surrounded by people, your areas are really just this room, and unconsciously I limit myself within the room. So I try not to expand myself. I limit myself within the room. So I feel free there, and that also limited my listenings. So things that happening outside the window, outside my room, I limit myself from listening. And over here, because there's more space, outside my house is still like a space, you know. I feel it's okay, I feel safe, you know, to expand myself a little bit outside. Like here, like this much. It's fine for me to like feel like over here it's also me. And so because I feel bigger about myself, I feel safer to feel bigger about myself. So I also open my senses. It's okay to open the senses, you know. Nobody will disturb me. Because when you open too much senses in a city, you may notice something happening in your neighbor or upstairs, and that's not nice, right? It's a privacy. And also you want to be yourself. When you want to be yourself, you also don't want to be disturbed. That's a lot of disturbance. So it's more comfortable to limit yourself in a city and hear things only what is happening in my room. I think that was the difference. I'm here. I used to open up myself a little bigger. When I go back to city with this consciousness, I'm opening up the senses to more things. But then, of course, with that kind of attitude, I miss the nature much more when I'm in a city, because opening too much senses in a city is not convenient. There's so much noises and so much people. Those things somehow for me don't give me the relaxed feeling. So this was the changes that I feel for these 2 months. Oh yeah, recently I don't know what happening, but like I feel like my logical thinking, like something that is holding me to think logical and act logical. That part of myself that I use a lot when I'm working, doing the office work. That what is that part of me? Like a logic thing, like all this common sense and intention of wanting to follow this common sense, that kind of thing. I feel like this thing is like sleeping, like in some moment it's like want to disappear. The feeling is like I also feel like I lose my words, I lose my language, I lose the thing that I studied very hard. I didn't study so much of the like mathematics and science, never, but still things that I study, I feel those are gone, like all the effort I believe it will help me in a career. Feel those are suddenly gone. That kind of feel. Like suddenly I'm like a paused and dumb. I'm no longer somebody that having the plan to achieve some goals and aims and this analytics and planning and organizing and discussions, negotiation, and all the vocabularies and grammars and how you present yourself to be so pleasant that you can win somebody over, you can get a position better than somebody. A sense of controlling myself, sense of controlling others, because showing the amazing attitude of me that could amaze somebody, so that I can control this kind of whole thing feel like this part suddenly pause. Suddenly there's no planning, suddenly no analytics, no logic, no aim, no purpose in life. That kind of feel like I suddenly become so dumb. I feel this moment like it's still inside my head. Some part inside my head feel like it become dumb, forget all kinds of words that I used to know. I feel this. I thought this is because I watch too much short movies, TikTok and thing. I thought those watching too much of the mobile videos give me this dumb feeling, but perhaps it's opposite. I think being in nature somehow make me pause this part of myself. And I still believe a lot in plannings and organizing and planning things ahead and not to be in rush at the last moment, so I feel safe. And all this, I believe in it a lot. I still think it's very important to organize and plan ahead to achieve certain things so that you don't give trouble to others. Like I believe in working hard, and when I'm busy, I feel good, I feel satisfied when I'm busy because it makes me feel like I'm productive. And I'm still believing very much on it. Somewhere in my head, like this size, just this size, I feel it somewhere in my head, like sometimes become down. Yeah. Like then I try to hold on to it, like no, I still have the planning and I want to achieve this and that. I try to control myself and don't let this kind of down feeling overwhelm me. And I'm thinking, what if I let go of those, like pause kind of feeling? Will it really eventually, finally, do I feel the happiness from it? Like, do I feel the momentum? Do I feel those, feeling of being with the real nature? Obviously, when you have a precise plan in a day, like for half an hour I'm having coffee, half an hour I'm walking, half an hour I be in touch with the nature. Do you get the connection with the nature in this half an hour? No, because 30% of you when you're connecting with nature is timekeeper. Hey, 15 minutes left, 10 minutes left.